I was at McKinsey. I was done with the intern. I come back to campus. And I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
this was too much fun. Can I do it again? Can I do it for maybe 1 or 2
Acha.
more years? But then moved here, was talking to a lot of potential employers, found this impact investor called Sagana. From Jan this year, I'm now 100% dedicating my time to setting up my own VC fund. It's called 2200 Ventures. We're going to invest in fairly early stage climate tech and deep tech focused startups.
Where you move from consulting, why you move from consulting, and how you move from consulting.
To answer that, I have to go a little bit to the earlier stage of my career and why I joined consulting. When I joined IIM Calcutta, I was very clear I wanted to do finance. That's why I left IIM Bangalore and I joined IIM Calcutta. I still believe an IMB MBA would have been a lot more interesting unless I wanted to do finance. For everything else, I think IMB would have been better. So I joined IIM Calcutta with a very strong interest in finance. I had already started doing CFA while I was at IIT and I was enjoying finance courses. And I was like, yeah, this is interesting. This is something I can enjoy and I can probably do in future. And I joined IIM Calcutta thinking, yes, finance, only finance, nothing else. And the internship process it starts fairly early. You don't really have a lot of time to process anything before that. Consultants are the first people who start visiting campus, start doing presentations, start telling you about consulting. And by the time I had gone to IIM Calcutta, I had a bunch of batchmates, I had a bunch of IIT seniors who were already in the different consulting firms, and they were all visiting campus and they were telling me about how their consulting firm is better than everything else under the sun. Consulting sales pitch is really nice, and I got sold. Jokes apart, I thought I would do an internship at McKinsey or one of the consulting firms and join a bank or a banking role at the end of my IIM tenure. So I interned at McKinsey. I had the most wonderful internship team, all IIM Calcutta people, almost all of them. We had a lot of fun during the internship. It was really, really fun. We did a lot of very interesting work as well. I worked on a procurement study. My key client was someone who had been working in procurement for 20, 25 years, right? And I was someone who's not even graduated out of B school. I could see that there was a lot that I could do to help them, even though like it looks like I'm someone who knows nothing, because of the consulting toolkit. And I mean, yes, you see 3 or 4 consultants at your client side, but there are 20, 30, 40 more people in the background who are helping you out there, right? Like, I really enjoyed that. I remember a particular case at the end of my internship. There was this presentation that we were doing with the wider client, and at the end of it, we had a slide with everyone's name and their position in the firm. They really wanted to include the McKinsey team as well, and so they included us. And it said Ahmed Aslam summer associate because I was an intern. And so there's a lot of these guys. This one guy at the back raises his hand and is like, everything else is fine, I have this one question on the last slide. And then we go back to the slides. Why does it say summer associate? What do you do during winters? And I had to sit down and explain it to him that I'm still doing my MBA, and after the summer I'm gonna go back to B school. He looked really surprised. He thought I was probably like 35 years old. I had like 3 kids by then. He thought I was
Like
like the
partner, so
industry
you're
expert.
already a partner, so he's slotted you partner material.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah,
No, but this is
I
this
had
is
a
an
lot of fun during
interesting
the
part,
internship.
Ahmed. I've also observed. When I was working with ICICI Venture immediately after MBA, uh, I was one of my portfolio companies was a specialty chemicals company, which
Yeah.
was in existence for last almost 17, 18 years. And I could see that, yes, there is so much, even with my novice background, quote unquote, to that, I could help them with, which was just a lot of time direct applications of basic theory principles into their
Yeah.
context.
And you get industry best practices, you get a lot of other things that you can help them with. Again, the other thing is also the learning that you get, right? Like this is someone who's been doing procurement for auto ancillary companies for 20 years, right? There are probably 10 more people in the country who knew about that particular area than him. He's among the top
Right.
10 people, people in with that expertise, and you're learning that from him, right? Like I probably learned like 5x more than what he learned from, or what I helped him, right? And that
No,
happens with
definitely.
every project, and that happens with every particular assignment that you do. So yeah, I was done with the intern. I come back to campus, and I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
this was too much fun. Can I do it again? Can I do it for maybe 1 or 2
Acha.
more years and then go to banking? And then it's
Interesting.
just so happened that it was a particularly bad phase for banks the year that I was graduating. I was like, nah, let's just go to McKinsey. It's gonna be fun. We'll have fun. I did have a lot of fun, but it was
Hmm.
also a lot more like the work was much harder than what it was during the internship.
Let's do a nice segue um, into how did you land up in the UK, Ahmed?
Ah, that's a good one. Yeah, so I was at McKinsey. I had still been dating the same person for a while. We started dating in undergrad. Then she moved to IIM Bangalore. I was still at Kharagpur. Then I moved to Delhi or Gurgaon for my job. And then right after IIM Bangalore, my partner moved to London, and she's been here ever since. So yeah, we'd been doing long distance for a while, and that's never very healthy for a relationship. And we realized eventually we do have to land up at the same place. She worked with fairly complex financial products that don't necessarily get traded outside of London and New York. So for her, and with what she was doing, London was a great place to be. I back
What
then
she
was
was in?
doing private.
Is she in finance?
Yeah, she's in finance. Yeah.
Got it.
So she wanted to be a consultant. I wanted to be a banker. She ended up being a banker. I ended up being a consultant. So यार we decided कि eventually तो साथ में move करना ही है. पूरा जिंदगी तो long distance नहीं चला सकते हैं. As a consultant, my skill sets are slightly more transferable. Plus, by then I was working in private equity within McKinsey. London is one of the strongest private equity markets out there. So it was pretty clear that I should move here. I tried moving within McKinsey as well. While I was at McKinsey, did a bunch of projects here, came, worked on a project, went back, and did that again and then again and then again. Um, but then I decided कि यार move कर ही लेते हैं. So even before leaving the firm, I moved. And then I started looking for options here. Spoke to a bunch of other people, bunch of my former PE clients, tried to figure out the private equity landscape here. Back then, I thought I wanted to move into private equity. I had done a fair bit of impact investing work while at McKinsey. I had done a little bit of work with relatively early stage companies at McKinsey as well. McKinsey gives you like a long garden leave even before you leave. And my idea with McKinsey always was I was going to spend 2 years at the firm and leave. वो दो का चार साढ़े चार हो गया. uh, Ended up staying for way longer than I thought I would. But then moved here, was talking to a lot of potential employers, found this impact investor called Sagana. They were a fairly small, fairly young firm, only had 6 employees, I think, before I joined. I really liked the way they thought about impact investing. I had done a little bit of impact investing work before, and I had done a little bit of relatively early stage work before. And yeah, that
So they were
somehow
like
worked out.
one thousandth the size of your early stage McKinsey clients.
नहीं नहीं ऐसा भी नहीं है यार. We did work
नहीं
with
है?
some of the younger, yeah, some of the newer companies. We used to call them fast growing tech companies, and उसमें qualify करने के लिए you need to grow by like 60% every year.
Yeah.
So yeah, started working with them, helped set up their climate investing business. By now we've set up multiple different sectors within climate as well. Their climate is one of their highest performing sectors as well. And from earlier this year, from Jan this year, I'm now 100% dedicating my time to setting up my own VC fund. It's called 2200 Ventures. We're going to invest in fairly early stage climate tech and deep tech focused startups, primarily based in the UK.